Mr. Post.
All right, so just earlier this week I had my first meeting of the SMOB Advisory Council where we mainly discussed communication. The core principle that we framed our conversation around was proactive and inclusive communication, actively reaching out to the students who aren't seeking out information about what this board is doing or what's happening in the system. It was very productive, and I'm looking forward to putting a lot of the ideas that we discussed into practice. In that same vein, on Tuesday I filmed my first SMOB Minute, which is a bi-weekly video series that aims to inform students about developments that are occurring in our system and how they'll affect us as students. I participated in a roundtable discussion about equity with a few different student leaders from across the state. It was very interesting hearing quite a few different perspectives about the issue, seeing how different districts are tackling it and what an ideal equitable system eventually does look like. And I also attended a orientation program for new SMOBs across the state, and it was a very wonderful experience to get to know the very unique people who have the same job I do, but just in other parts of Maryland. I think we have a lot we can learn from each other. And although I couldn't make it out to the Universal Pre-K discussion last week, I heard great things about it. I'm very glad that we are seriously exploring the idea and getting feedback from our community about it and thinking it over. It's a great idea to, at the very least, start to consider. On a final note, I think most of what's needed to be said about Charlottesville has been said in the past few weeks, but I do want to take a moment to reflect and remember Heather Heyer, the young woman who died in Charlottesville. When I was reading about Heather, what really stuck out to me was her last post on Facebook, in which she wrote, "If you're not outraged, you're not paying attention." I think all of us who are in positions of privilege need to pay more attention to the ugliness of white supremacy that can lurk in the darkest corners of our community. We're not immune from racism or those forces in Montgomery County. And I know that everyone around this table and the vast, vast majority of our community is committed to confronting it and extinguishing it wherever it exists. It will not be tolerated here. So that's it for me.